Fionn has a rare genetic condition called NACC1, so we only found out about it a year, do we know a year? So we didn't really know what was wrong with him all up until then. Just when he was born, he never stopped screaming. He hasn't slept since he was born. He's just been screaming all day and all night for about 4 years. So it was good and it was bad to get a diagnosis. I think we got an awful land to get this rare thing that there's nobody in Ireland or Europe, and the 8 other kids are out in America and Canada. So you're trying to contact them to see how are their kids, and we got no information from the hospital. We get no support from the hospital. We got a printout from the internet, just telling a few very basic things about it, and basically we were told to take him home and enjoy him while we had him. And we've heard that a lot of times, enjoy him while you have him. We were told that he wouldn't see 2, and every time we'd go back up to the hospital they'd be surprised even that he was still there. The last day that we went to see the neurologist, she said, "Oh, I didn't expect to see you here today." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well," she said, "the way Fionn has been presenting the past few years, I wasn't expecting him to be with us." And she went on then to ask us what were we doing with him, and I told her about the regime of physio, the private physio that he's getting, about his organic blended diet and all the therapies that we're giving him. And she said, "Well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it," because she said, "I can't see him going anywhere in the immediate future." So that was reassurance for us that we're on the right path, that we're doing the right thing, that we're making him more comfortable, which was the huge thing, because the past 4 years he has been in agony, to be fair, the little creature. And sometimes you'll be saying, are you doing the wrong thing trying to keep him with us when he's suffering so much? But since September gone by, we got the advice of a special clinic in Spain about the CBD oil. So I think that has made a huge difference to Fionn in his brain agitation, and he hasn't been screaming as much. We're getting more happy days with him, and he's getting the most benefit from his physio because he's sleeping at night now and his brain is able to rest, so he's able to process things a little bit better. He's able to watch the television and laugh and enjoy things where he was just screaming all the time before. So the CBD oil and the physio and the organic food combined, they're all just making a huge impact on the quality of his life, which is the main thing for us, is that he has a good quality of life and that he's comfortable. He's going to be 5 in August, thank God, and he is the size of an average 5-year-old boy, and we have to do everything for him like a newborn baby. So it's been like having a newborn baby for 5 years, I suppose. And he's heavy now, so every day we have to lift him. Every little thing that he does, he has to be lifted and held and moved, so our backs are sore. We don't get enough support. Any family, it's not only us, any family with a child that has a complex medical illness, we don't get support from the HSE. We have a lot of chairs for him at the moment, and he's grown out of all of them. So actually none of his chairs for home at the moment are correctly fitting him. Even his pea pod there, he's gone too big for it. It's not supporting him. So, he's on a list, he's on a waiting list. We could be 2 years before he'll actually get another chair, or it's someone, I've been almost 12 months contacting them to come out and look at his activity chair to adjust it and see is there any adjustments in it that it might fit him properly, but no one has come out. You have to ring, you have to email. You know, there's just, everything is a fight, everything is a battle. Not one thing, you know, you can't lift the phone and ring someone and say this is wrong, can someone come out? Everything would take 6 months at least of ringing, emailing, pestering people, just trying to get the most basic things for him, like his chair to sit in. You know, it's absolutely crazy. There's so many things that he needs, and it's just fighting every day for every little thing that he needs. What else every day, Trev?
Yeah, it depends what kind of form he's in, really. Like,
yeah.
You know, every day is different. Like you get up in the morning and you're trying to gauge what he's like. The good days are brilliant, and the bad days are horrendous. They drag like that.
That's it. Like, you could have an appointment to go somewhere, but Fionn might wake up at 4 a.m. screaming, and he mightn't stop screaming for 3 days. So you'll have to cancel appointments if it's a christening or a wedding or something that you'd been invited to, somebody's birthday party. You know, we're constantly cancelling things. You know, we can't go if Fionn is bad. And when he's bad, he could be so bad that he would be rigid, and you actually couldn't get him into the car seat. Even if you said to yourself that you'd take him somewhere, you couldn't get him into the car even. So I think people find it hard to imagine how bad that he can be, but when people see it, then they say to you, oh my God, how have you been through the last 4 years when he was like that constantly? And I actually don't know how we got through the last 4 years. You know, sometimes since September now, his bad periods have gone down to approximately 3 days. And he used to be like that all the time. So there's days when he's bad now that I'll say to myself, oh my God, how in the name of God did we put down the last 4 years of this constantly? I really don't know. It was absolute hell, and little or no support from the HSE and, you know, the people that are meant to help us. Trevor, I suppose, is still working in that, so he's getting out. He's getting to see people, but my life has gone completely out the window. I would say that, I'd go so far as to say that I don't have a life, really. He gets a bit of respite every 6 weeks, but they're only getting to know him. He's gone there 5 or 6 times, but every time he goes there, you'll get so many phone calls, so you can't really shut off or, you know, have a few drinks or anything, because you could get 5 or 6 phone calls, so you have to be on the ball. You could have to go down if they don't know what's wrong with him. You could have to go down to help them. So that would be the chance that we get to shut down. But then Trevor works the weekends, so he's working when we get the respite most of the time, so we still can't do anything together. So we don't really get time together as a couple, and we can't, if Fionn is bad, one of us has to be with him, because we have no support at all during the day. So emotionally it has taken a big toll, especially when he was crying all the time. It was like living in a war zone, really. One of us would be with him and he'd be screaming, and when we couldn't take any more, Trevor would step in, and until he couldn't take any more, and then I'd have to come again, and we'd just be swapping between the two of us, and like, you're snapping at each other, biting the heads off each other. You know, everything is everyone's fault. You know, why did this happen to us? Why is it happening to Fionn? Why can't anyone help him? Why can't the doctors give us medicine to stop this screaming? And just up and down to the hospital. We had a pat worn up and down to Cork, up and down to Dublin. And then, you know, no one knew what was actually wrong. And now that they know what's wrong, they still don't know what to do. We're still just told to take him home. We'd be crying going home, and the Fionn would be roaring, and we'd be crying. Do you know, if anyone saw us going down the road in the car, and we're just all crying, and it's just heartache and pressure, the feeling of the pressure that's on us, and, you know, trying to help him, and the desperation, and just seeing your child screaming and screaming and screaming, and you can't, nothing that you do will stop him. No medicine, no way of holding him, no rocking him. And people find that very hard to understand. You know, they'll come in and he'll be screaming, and what if you do this and what? And we're like, There's nothing that you can do that will stop this. And I think it's absolute devastation for us, you know, and it's so, I think we have got through the worst 4 years that any two people could ever have to go through. I don't know how we did it, but we did. We're still here ploughing on. Well, I tell you, we are so delighted and thankful and grateful. We have a load of stuff that we need to get for him. We have a hoist anyway, first and foremost. That's what we need for his bedroom and to go into the bathroom. There's a limit that nurses can lift to, and that's 15 kgs, and Fionn is almost at that. I think he's 14.8 kgs at the moment. Thank God, that's brilliant. He's growing and getting strong and everything. It's excellent. But you know, all our backs and everything are going to be, the heavier he's getting, the harder it's getting for us all. So the hoist will mean that you could, you know, put it under him in the bed and take him from the bed into the bathroom to his shower trolley. And we'd also love to get him a bath, a high-low bath. Fionn loves the water, and like from time to time he still does get those awful muscle spasms, not as often as before, but he still does get them. And when he gets them, to have him in the water calms him down, and we put Epsom salts and essential oils into it, you know, to ease the muscles, and he just relaxes back into the water. And if he can, you know, you have to support him because he can't sit up himself. We thought about putting in a standard bath, but we'd have to be bending down, you know, one of us would have to hold him and support him. So one person would have to hold him the whole time that he'd be in the bath and support him, and the other person then would, you know, splash with him and interact with him. So we really would love that special bath. It's a bath and it can rise up. So you're standing at a normal height, you know, you're not bending, and you know, we get a special seat to support him in it, and then maybe even one person could bath him on their own, you know, because we'd have the hoist to bring him in and drop him into it, and we could take him out of it again with that, and that would be amazing. But they're crazy money, and there's no grants, you know, we don't qualify for grants because Trevor thankfully has a lovely job in Element 6, and all the people are so good now in there. We're just so delighted for this support. Now, we're not a registered charity. In Ireland, they make it extremely difficult to get a charity number. If you're one person on their own can't get a charity number. To qualify to get a charity number, you have to be of benefit to the community. You can't be of benefit just to Fionn. So at the moment, we want to provide for Fionn on his own. So we're having issues trying to get a charity number because we can't, you know, we're trying to see what benefit could we be of the community to share out the money. So I'm very lucky that I got Carer of the Year this year from Family Carers Ireland. And I mentioned it to them that we had a fantastic company that were willing to come on board and fundraise for Fionn, and they know how much Fionn loves the bath, and they know how much we need the hoist as well. So they have offered us their charity number, that we can use their charity number, and it will all 100% go to Fionn. None of it, they're not keeping any of it, it's all going to Fionn. But it's enabling us to benefit from year special fundraising, which is huge for us, because realistically we haven't a hope, high up or low down, of putting together the money for the hoist alone, not to mind the bath. You know, we're getting bits and pieces of fundraising, which is great, and we're putting it towards his physio and that, but for the likes of the big pieces of equipment like this, not a hope could we couldn't do it without you now. There wouldn't be a hope.